Hey, you guys. Welcome to this week's live stream. I'm very excited to get into today's topic because we are talking about all about the misconceptions that get in your way of starting your leather business. So give me a second while I share this into the Leather Tamers. If you are not yet a member of the Leather Tamers, I'd like to personally invite you to join us. It's a really fun group where we talk all about leather, and we talk all about mainly people that are in various stages of starting a business, wanting to start a business, or they have a business that maybe isn't giving them the results that they want. So, kind of fixing the existing business and kind of figuring out how to take it to the next level. So, that's the Leather Tamers on Facebook. Join us. We'd love to have you. Growing every week. So again, for those of you who are just joining me in the Leather Tamers on the Facebook page and on Instagram Live right now, we are talking about misconceptions about what it takes to start a leather business. So today I'm going to talk to you about inventory misconceptions, the initial investment, how to make your customers see the value in your work, and more. So for those of you who are joining me this week for the first time, or you've never seen me before, my name is Mary and I am the creator of leatherbeast.com, and I work with leather crafters just like you and really help them to go from like a hobby, which is fine, but people that want to take their hobby and turn it into a business where they're selling their leather work, they're building this business, and they're doing it in like the easiest and most efficient and effective, all the buzzwords, the most effective way possible, the quickest way possible, right? So we do that by helping you to clarify your message, being able to speak about what you are selling. That's really important. And then attracting the right customers and driving quality traffic to your website. It's like those three things. When you have those, then you have the building blocks for a really successful and profitable business. No matter what industry, market, it doesn't matter. When you know those three things, you can sell anything. And so if that sounds interesting to you and you are someone who has been thinking recently about wanting to start your business, or maybe you've been thinking about it for a while and you haven't started your business yet, I have a really great workshop and I'm actually taking it down soon. So you can watch that for free. It's at lucrativeleathercraft.com, and I really dive into and go deep on those three topics, really laying that foundation for your business so that you can really see it grow into the business that you want it to grow into with the least amount of frustration or friction possible, right? Okay, so before we dive into this week's topic, I just wanted to share a friendly review. This comes from Jackie, and she says, I've just recently started with leather crafting and came across your website, and I was so impressed. I immediately signed up and have gone through all of your tutorials. Needless to say, you've covered many topics that beginners have, and for that, I am so grateful. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience. Well, thank you, Jackie, for tuning in and leaving that testimonial. If you'd like to leave a review or a testimonial, I'd love to hear from you. You can just head to leatherbeast.com and click on the testimonials link at the top of the page. Okay, so if you guys are tuning in live, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know that you're watching and give me like a thumbs up or a heart, or tell me where you're watching from. It's just kind of hard talking to a blank screen, right? I know you guys are out there, so I would love to interact with you a little bit more. So yeah, just tell me where you're watching from. So okay, so I also want to ask you, how many of you have been wanting to start your leather goods business, but there are things standing in your way? And you can comment in the chat here. You either feel like you need a large leather goods inventory before you can start selling your leather goods. Hey, we've from Argentina, we've got Fat Dog Trading from, oh my God, I can't even say that. Oh, I'm not even going to try it. From Florida. Jacobson's Leather from Georgia. Valley Leatherworks from Arkansas. All right, we got the South representing. We've got Levi in Peru. We've got Randy from Northern Oklahoma. Awesome, you guys. I love that we can see where everybody's at all over the world. Okay, so tell me if you've been wanting to start to sell your leather goods, but there are things standing in your way. You feel like you need a large inventory before you can start selling, or you need to make your customer realize that they should value your leather goods, right? Or maybe you feel like it's the money part, that you need this like massive investment before you can start. You need to buy all of these things before you can even start selling your leather goods online. Or maybe you think it's too hard to start a leather goods business. You've seen so many other people try, they failed. Maybe you've tried and failed, or you feel like there's no money in it. You can't possibly make money out of selling your leather goods, or any other misconceptions that you've had. If you have any feelings like that, raise your hand and tell me, because you're not alone. Recently, I pulled this Facebook group that I'm a member of, and I've asked people, what's the number one thing that is holding you back from starting your business? And they all said these exact same things. They were talking about inventory, needing the cash up front. It's way too hard. You can't make money. But guess what? I've got really good news. These are myths. These are misconceptions. People are making money. People are starting a leather goods business without a huge upfront capital investment. And I'm going to share my top 4 myths and misconceptions and how you can get past those so that you can continue getting on with it and creating your leather business, the leather business of your dreams. Okay? So the first misconception is one of my favorites. It is the feeling that people think they need to create a really large inventory before they can sell their leather goods. Waiting until you have a big inventory. I have the space heater on down here and it's burning my leg. Okay, sorry. Waiting to sell your leather goods until you have amassed this massive inventory is a really big mistake. Because what happens if nobody buys, right? It's kind of a harsh reality, but it could totally happen. And it does happen a lot. I've made this mistake many times in the past of making a whole bunch of inventory and then none of it sells. And what I have to do, instead of it just collecting dust on a shelf, is that I have to sell it off piece by piece over a really long stretch of time at a discounted price. And I'm basically break even. So don't make this really big mistake. You don't need to create a massive amount of inventory before you can start selling. You're actually better off if you don't create the inventory first. In Lucrative Leathercraft, I teach you how to launch pre-sales so that you are selling the product before you're making it. Thus, if nobody pre-buys it, then you haven't wasted any money and you can come up with a new idea, right? So that's a great way to get around having to sink a bunch of money into inventory costs, materials costs, labor costs before you actually have a validated idea. We also teach you to really research your customer and know what people are looking for before you start to create that inventory. Because the last thing you want to have is this big pile of inventory at the end of the day that's just sitting there. It hasn't sold and you've wasted hundreds or thousands of dollars. That is not what I want for you. So having an inventory as a small business is actually not something that you need to do until you've validated your product and know that you have a demand, right? So maybe you have launched it with a pre-sale or you've tested it out on your Instagram and you've had a lot of feedback. Maybe you've gotten 5, 10, 15, 20 orders from it. You're starting to get traction. Then you can start with the inventory. Okay. Number 2. I need to make my customer realize the value of my handmade leather goods. I like this one too, because I kind of get where people are coming from when they say this type of thing, but it's actually, you're kind of looking at the problem all wrong in a backwards way, right? Because instead of trying to twist someone's arm and talk them into how they should be valuing your leather goods and how they should want to buy your leather goods, that seems really difficult, right? Just think if anybody's ever tried to do that with you, you're immediately turned off. You're immediately like, I hate you even more now. So instead of trying to talk someone into valuing your product, go for the people, target the people that are going to be an easy yes, the people who actually want what you have. You know, it's so much easier and it's such a better use of your time if you zero in on that audience that has a problem or needs something or wants something to make them feel better or go through life in a better way. You know, you target the people that actually want what you have and leave all the rest behind. So there's no sort of like getting my customer to see the value of my leather goods. It's actually thinking about the customer before you even get started making your leather goods, before you get started making your website, before you get started making your business cards. You really have to know your customer, know what they want, or know the group of people that you're going after that want a certain thing. And when you can describe clearly in your marketing promotion what it is that they are after and what you have that is going to help them and help them solve their problem or get through life easier, whatever it is, then you won't need to make your customer realize anything, right? They're just automatically going to get it. All of your messaging, all of your promotion, it's all just going to resonate with them and they're going to say, oh, great, finally a solution. This is what I've been looking for, right? So again, this is a huge part of section 1 in lucrative leathercraft. I think it's the most important thing we talk about in the whole program is really nailing down what it is that your business has to offer, who wants it, what problem they have, what the solution is, that it's your product, what it's going to do for them, what that transformation is. Once you put that into words, and it doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to be this like earth-shattering problem that you're solving. You know, it can be really small, but there has to be something that you are able to give to your customer other than just a leather wallet or a leather belt. Otherwise, what's to stop them just going down to Target or Kmart and just buying something off the rack, right? So yeah, anyways, we talk a lot about that in section 1 in lucrative leathercraft. Okay, myth number 3. I need a lot of money to be able to start selling my leather goods. This is one of my favorite myths to talk about because I love talking about money. As some of you might know, I'm a bookkeeper, so I'm all about the finances. I'm all about keeping track of the income, the expenses, the overhead spending, and yeah, this one is so far from the truth. I think I had about $500 in the bank when I started my business, and that's like total. I was not rolling in it. I didn't have this huge investment, and I actually was trying not to touch much of that because that was kind of like my safety net. Oh, to be 20 again. But the key here is to keep your overhead low and price your products for profit. So you always want that balance, what's going out and what's coming in. You want what's going out to be as small as possible, and you want what's coming in to be able to cover those expenses, plus have that buffer of profit margin there too. So do you need a lot of money to start your leather business? No, but you do need some basics. You need an internet connection, you need a computer, but that's really it. You can start a leather business really on a shoestring budget these days, and it's kind of amazing. It's something I'm really passionate about because it's given me a ton of freedom to be able to just work from anywhere and create my own hours and work online and not have to report anywhere. Anyways, that's enough about me. But no, you don't need a huge amount of money. In the past, yeah, that used to be the case. Starting a business before, all of the stuff online happened, you used to need a brick and mortar store. You needed, money for the actual physical rent. You needed to hire someone to help you manage the store. Not anymore. You need to sign up for an email service provider. You need to put a little bit of money aside for a website and website hosting, but those minor fees compared with what it used to be, it's like so minimal now. I could talk more and more about that, but I'm going to move on because I don't want this video to be super long. Okay, number 4, it's too hard to start a leather business. And actually, this one kind of ties in with the last one. Actually, I think the opposite is true because starting a business, as I just mentioned, used to be really hard. It used to require a lot more money. It used to require you to be in certain places. It used to require you to network in person. Gross. I can't even imagine doing that. I would much rather be posting online, making a little post every day online, and doing it that way. Don't get me wrong, starting a leather business is hard work. You know, it is a lot of work. It's all I think about. I'm basically working on it every single day of the week, in some form or another. But yeah, it's with social media, email marketing, ways of finding and attracting your customer online and converting them to paying customers. It's literally all at your fingertips. You know, you can do it from your pajamas on your couch. You can do it in the evenings after the kids go to bed. You can wake up early before your 9-to-5 job. It's kind of amazing what you can do with just a handful of hours each week. And I guarantee you the amount of time that you have to spend each week on your business, if you think that's small, there are people doing it with half as much time as you have. And so that's one of the things, the reasons why I developed the program Lucrative Leathercraft, is because I wanted to develop sort of a formula where I boil it down and I say, okay, what are the key elements to a successful business? What is a must that you have to have? And what are the most impactful things to get you from point A to point B, which point B is making sales. Point A is starting, not having anything. And that all boils down to the 7 sections that are in the Lucrative Leathercraft program, which are the first 3 phases. The first 3 sections are the most important. It's all about knowing your customer, figuring out what your brand message is, attracting your customer, and then promoting your products to the people who want what you buy. So I talk all about that. So if you're interested in that, that's something that, you know, you might want to keep your eyes peeled for in the next couple of weeks. I will be opening up the doors to Lucrative Leathercraft. Okay, and finally, number 5, I can build a successful and profitable leather goods business without doing the research on my customer. Now, you know what I'm going to say about this one. You can't do it. You can, but it's going to take you forever. You're going to be so frustrated. If you want to build a business in the quickest way possible, and by quick, it's not like I mean like overnight or like, you know, in like a couple of weeks, it's still going to take some time. But the quickest way possible, within a year or 2, you need to research your customer. You need to know who you are targeting. There are so many people in the world, right? You can't target everyone. You have to get specific. You have to figure out what it is you have, who wants it, why they want it, how it's going to help them. These are the things that are the factors that people need whenever they buy something. Just think about it. When you buy something, it's because you're looking for some sort of result from it, right? Whether it's buying healthy food at the grocery store, or buying for you ladies, buying a pretty top. It makes you feel a certain way. Those are problems that the marketing that is selling that to you is specifically, it's targeting you with those concepts. That is how people are selling to you. And so you need to figure out how you can do the same with your leather goods. So here's how I can paint you a picture of how it's going if you don't research your customer. You create a wallet or a keychain or some other leather good. You put it up on Etsy, right? Or your website, and you mention it a few times on your Instagram. Soon after, there is 0 response and you get frustrated and you quit the business. That was quick. So don't make this mistake, because it's very rare that that scenario is going to work for you. And I see so many people struggling with this, and I just want to help them. And I just want to help you to instead be thinking about your customer from the very beginning. Before you even start creating your leather goods, designing your website, ordering the business cards, all of that, you should really know who your customer is, who you're going to be targeting. I promise you, if you do this, it's going to make everything so much easier, and it's going to make everything really fall into place in your business. You're really laying that foundation. You're getting clear from the get-go. You know it up front, and then with every email you send, every post you make, everything you put on your website, with everything you do, you infuse those messages into your marketing. I promise you, that is what is going to help you either launch a new business successfully or take your current business to the next level. All right, guys. So I'm curious, are any of these myths the things that are holding you back from starting your business? Or is there something else that's holding you back from taking your business, your current business, to the next level? Tell me in the comments if these are any of the things that are kind of hindering your progress. So I don't want you to wait to start to experience the freedom of having your own successful business. That freedom is awesome. And if I can help you get closer to that goal, I'm going to, and I'm happy to do so. You just got to let me know what you need from me. If you liked this video, please comment and share it with your Facebook friends. That really helps to kind of spread the word, and I'd be super appreciative. And oh, don't forget to watch that workshop. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch that at lucrativeleathercraft.com. Before I take that down, I'm taking that down very soon, probably in the next week or so. Next week, I'm talking about the key things that really shifted my business from a hobby to a profitable business, and how you can do the same in your business. So good. I can't wait to share this, you guys. Thank you so much for everyone who tuned in live and for commenting. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.